A pleasant day to everyone. I am Shatara Ruiz from 11 Hydra. Today I will be teaching about the nervous system. So in this video, I'll be sharing the definition of the nervous system, the functions of the nervous system, the parts of the nervous system, and finally the types of the nervous system. So what is nervous system? The nervous system is the major controlling, regulatory, and communicating system in the body. It is the center of all mental activity including thought, learning, and memory. Together with endocrine system, the nervous system is responsible for regulating and maintaining homeostasis. In this definition from SEER, we can know that our nervous system is one of the most important systems in our body. It is responsible for many things that a human being needs. Through its receptors, the nervous system keeps us in touch with our environment, both external and internal. Now we will see some of the functions of our nervous system. We have the first one, sensory. So sensory nervous system's function is to inform the central nervous system about the stimuli impinging on us from the outside or within us. So millions of sensory receptors detect changes. These changes are what we call the stimuli. These stimuli occur inside or outside our body. They monitor such things as temperature, light, sound from the external environment, and from the internal environment inside our body. Receptors detect variations in pressure, pH, carbon dioxide concentration, and the levels of various electrolytes. All this gathered information is what we call the sensory input. So the next function is the integrative. So the process of integration combines sensory perceptions and higher cognitive functions such as memories, learning, and emotion to produce a response. So sensory input is converted into electrical signals, which we call nerve impulses. They are transmitted to the brain. And in our brain, they brought together to create sensation or to produce thoughts or to add to memory. Decisions are made each moment based on the sensory input. And this process is what we call the integration. So the third function of the nervous system is the motor. Motor conduct impulses from the CNS and PNS to the muscles, organs, and glands, affecting what happens in those tissues. So based on the sensory input and integration, the nervous system responds by sending signals to muscles, causing them to contract, or to glands, causing them to produce secretions. Muscles and glands are called effectors because they cause an effect in the response to directions from the nervous system. So this is the motor output, or what we also call as the motor function. Now we will be moving on the major parts of our nervous system, which are the central nervous system or the CNS and the peripheral nervous system or the PNS. So central nervous system, this is made up of brain and the spinal cord. It controls most functions of the body and mind. It consists of two parts, which is the brain and the spinal cord. Brain is the center of our thoughts, it's the interpreter of our external environment, and the region of control over our body movement. So the second is the peripheral nervous system. It consists of nerves and ganglia outside of the brain and the spinal cord. So the main function of the PNS is to connect the central nervous system to the limbs and organs. Okay, so I have statistics on the slide. We have 100 billion nerve cells or neurons in our brain, and we also have 13.5 million nerve cells or neurons in the spinal cord. And now we will be discussing a few parts of the nervous system. We have the first one, the cerebrum. The cerebrum is located on the uppermost part of the brain, and it's responsible for receiving and giving meaning to information from the sense organs, as well as controlling the body. So the second part is the cerebellum. The cerebellum is located near the brainstem and is responsible for coordinating voluntary movements. It is also responsible for a number of functions, including motor skills, such as balance, coordination, and posture. So the next part is the hypothalamus. It is a gland in your brain that controls your hormone system, releases hormones to another part of your brain, which we call as the pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland will send hormones out to the different organs of our body. And the next one is the brainstem. There are three parts of the brainstem, which are the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata. So they help to regulate breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, and several other important things or functions in our body. So the last part that we will be discussing in this video is the spinal cord. So the spinal cord is a long, tube-like band of tissue. It connects your brain to your lower back. Your spinal cord carries nerve signals from your brain to your body and also from your body to your brain. So we are moving on the last part, which is the types of the nervous system. So there are two types, which is the voluntary nervous system and the involuntary nervous system. So voluntary nervous system is also called somatic. It controls things a person is aware and can control consciously. So examples of this is moving your head or stepping your feet. And under involuntary nervous system, we call it also the vegetative or automatic. It controls processes in our body that a person doesn't consciously control. And examples of this is the beating of our heart or the breathing in our lungs. So before I end this lesson, I want to leave a quote from Carl Rogers, who tells us that in a person who is open to experience, stimulus is freely relayed through the nervous system without being distorted by any process of defensiveness. So this means that if you are a person seeking for adventures, no defensiveness can hinder the stimulus to move from our nervous system. And that's it. I hope you learned something from this video. Stay safe and God bless.